There are hundreds of little secrets that only top players know in CFB 26, like how to stop RPOs or how to speed boost for easy touchdowns. Luckily for you, in this video I'm breaking down 5 secret college football 26 tips that everyone likes to hide from you, but will drastically help you improve your win percentage. You're absolutely not going to miss out on any of these tips, so let's jump right into it. That first tip I'm going to show you is the most important part of offense. It's improving your pocket presence to help your passing game go to another level. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so you see how we have this play, right? This is a one-play touchdown against cover 3, right? And so we're just going to go ahead and put them in cover 3 right here just for the sake of showing you this, right? So if we take this snap, you're going to notice how the corner out's going to pull this man down, and we're just going to have an easy pass lead over the top, for, like I said, a one-play touchdown. So you guys can take that play if you'd like to, but really, I'm showing you pocket presence because right there you notice that I stepped up in the pocket. Like I canceled my drop back and then I step up in the pocket to avoid this rusher who's coming free, and then I throw the ball right before I'm about to get hit. That's one of the most critical parts of offense, because if we put them in cover 3 once again and I have bad pocket presence, which is what I see a lot of you guys doing, is I'm taking the snap and I'm drifting too far back, and now when I go to throw that pass, not only am I getting a throw out of sack, but the pass is red, right? The pass is going to get sailed to the other team. So it's like, okay, it doesn't even matter if they're in cover 3 or not, because like right here, I have my corner out wide open, but right there, I just drift too far back. I don't make the read in time, and again, it's a throw out of sack, right? And so you cannot just drift too far back in the pocket, because also, if you step too far in one direction, you see right here how, I was going to get sacked by that guy, number 3. Because I'm just stepping right into him. You need to make sure that you're maintaining good pocket presence, and just regardless of the route concept, regardless of the play, regardless of the defense that they're in, you're stepping up in the pocket, canceling your drop back, and just moving around. Like right here, I have to move around in the pocket. Like that's a great example of pocket presence, to not only be able to avoid that free rusher who's going to shed me, right, but then to be able to take off. So boom, take the snap, cancel the drop back. I move to the left to avoid this man, and then I step up into a wide open lane, take off, pick up a first down. That would have been a very negative play, but we turn it into a positive. So again, this is what you don't want to do. Do not drift too far back. You see I have it wide open, but now when I go throw it, the ball's in the air for too long and it gets broken up. So that's an example. That's a great example of a pass, right? That's a pass that's wide open, right? That's a great play call. But it's just a terrible play simply because I'm just drifting too far back in the pocket and I'm going to sail the pass. And so really the best way to improve your pocket presence is to get here in practice mode, put the ball at the 1 yard line, and now you're not going to be drifting too far back, because if you are, you're just going to be stepping out the back of the end zone. So it's going to help you build that habit, build that muscle memory of, hey, I have to step up in the pocket. I have to take this snap, cancel my drop back. Right here, this is a great example of pressure, where I'm getting pressured immediately. They blitz, and so I have to maintain, be calm, maintain good pocket presence, and move around in the pocket. Now, you certainly want to be trying to hit your receivers, right? I have my tight end right here as well, but I'm able to step up in the pocket as well and take off. So bottom line here with this, tip here, pocket presence, canceling that drop back, standing tall in the pocket, and making your reads. Again, flicking the left stick up to cancel your drop back, and then you're just trying to, move around in the pocket if you need to, or you can take off, or you can throw one of your receivers. Right here, I feel the pressure as well, and so I just hit my tight end drag underneath for an easy gain. So bottom line here with this tip, you need to make sure that you're flicking the left stick up, or L3 on PlayStation, to maintain good pocket presence, cancel your drop back, and then make your reads down the field. I promise it's going to make your passing offense 10 times better. All right, being able to complete more passes on offense is great, but as they say, defense wins championships. And if you're not using the best defensive settings, your defense is going to be absolutely horrible. Let me show you the best ones to use right now. All right, so when we talk about the best defensive settings, I want to make sure that you guys understand these coaching adjustments, which again, you're going to access by pressing the right stick in at the play call menu or R3 on PlayStation, and you're going to see these first 3. These are the most important defensive settings, honestly, before zone drop, before safety depth, because these are going to control the alignment of your defense. Do they come out misaligned, and or do they not, right? Which obviously you don't want them to. So making sure you have your cornerback matchups on balance, please. This is going to make sure your defense doesn't doesn't crisscross when the offense no huddles or motions a receiver. Same thing with defense and motion response. You don't want a cloud flat or an outside third following a receiver all the way across the field when he motions, right? So making sure you have auto flip on, balanced, and then disabled is going to help you maintain great alignment on defense. RPO pass key, this is going to help you defend RPOs just a little bit better, especially with your AI. They're going to focus on pass coverage while you can focus on the run with your user every single time, right? Having your curl flats on 5 is going to help your zone drops just drop to the right spot regardless of your coverage. You don't really need to touch a lot of these other ones. If you feel like your hooks are playing too far back, move them down to 5 yards. That's an adjustment that you can make, but for the most part, default 5, default gets the job done. Safety depth on close, safety width on pinch. But there's a huge misconception that goes around, especially here in this game with takeoff, because if they have takeoff receivers, or if they just have really fast receivers like South Carolina, LSU, you can't use safety depth on close. Your safeties, they're not fast enough. They can't handle the takeoff, the sudden boost and speed that these guys get off the line of scrimmage. So you need to make sure you have that on default. But if you're playing at Oregon State, for example, a team that doesn't have fast receivers, doesn't have takeoff, this is a great kind of adjustment here, because having your safeties close to the line of scrimmage will make those throwing windows up the seam a whole lot tighter. Not only do your default vert hooks drop far enough back to defend this, but also your safety's there. But not to mention, because your safeties are competent speed-wise, even when they try to lob that pass over the top, your guys aren't going to get ran by. So really, having your safety that look close, if you have good enough safeties, has no disadvantages, because you're going to be able to defend the seam a lot better, and you're going to be able to get back there. But again, if they have really fast receivers, if they have takeoff, make sure that you move that setting back to default. But this is what I'm talking about with your alignment, because if you have your cornerback matchups on by speed or by overall, this is what can happen to your defense, right? I'm giving you a simulation here, right? But this would be what your defense could look like, right? Because let's just say their fastest receiver is across the field from your fastest DB. He's having to realign just like this all the way across the field, and it could be like that for all 4 of your DBs or all 5 of them, right? So where they're all having to realign, and obviously if they just take the snap and throw this pass, they're going to have a wide open touchdown simply because your defense is misaligned all the way across the field. So really, like I said, that's why it's super important to get those first 3 settings. Auto flip on, cornerback matchups on balance, defense and motion response on disabled, so that your defense comes out aligned correctly, so that you can actually be able to defend the seams, so that your zones will actually be able to play correctly. But it's all in the coaching adjustments. Really, before you dive into the blitzes, the coverages, you need to make sure that you have your coaching adjustments set up and optimized correctly. All right, so if you found those first 2 secret tricks helpful here in CFB 26, again, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down tips and tricks just like this every single day to get you guys better on both sides of the ball in college football 26, and you absolutely don't want to miss out on any of the content I have. But if you want all 5 of these tricks, the first 2 that I just shared, and then 3 more to come in written form to save on your phone during gameplay, make sure you go down below in the comment section, comment the word VOLT, or go to the link in the pinned comment to join CFB University. It's only $1 for your first month, where you can get all my written breakdowns for the month of March and beyond, and you're going to get access to my Discord server, which includes access to me to ask questions. It's really a no-brainer for $1 in your first month. Try it out and let me know how you feel about it. But let's jump right back into the video. All right, here's the secret that everyone really wants to know about. BLT, how do you go about speed boosting here in college football 26 with your ball carriers? Let me show you exactly how to do it and why it's so overpowered. Alright, so if I come into offense only practice mode here, so I can show you exactly what makes this move so overpowered. A great run to do this from is Duo from Bunch 8 Strong Offset, featured in my Oregon State offensive ebook, which you can grab at bltforlive21.com if you're interested. But this is one of the best runs in the game, simply because you're able to speed boost out of it, right off the handoff. So I'm going to take the snap, and then I'm able to speed boost out. I can chain it up with a spin. There you see the boost, and then I'm just going to be able to boost back the other way. And so you can rip off way more big gains simply because you have the speed boost, element added to your, repertoire. So really, again, right here, speed boost right out of the handoff, then I chain it up with a spin, then I boost back the other way, right? Then I probably spin, right? Especially, you want to know your personnel. So if you have a guy that's really good at spinning, like this man right here, right? Obviously, you want to do it. Now, you're going to run out of stamina, kind of like he did towards the end of that run, but it's like you're going to be able to speed boost right out of the handoff, and that's going to make your runs a whole lot better because you're able to get to gaps sooner. So really, the best way to do the speed boost is you're going to take the snap, right? Then he's gonna hand the ball off. You're already gonna be holding the left stick in the direction that you want to run, but you want to make sure that you're not holding turbo, not holding R1, or excuse me, R2, until you pass the line of scrimmage. But then when you want to boost, you want to make sure that you're tapping left trigger. So it's really left trigger, right trigger, left stick, aiming to where you want to run. So I'm going to do that right here. I want to boost, and so that time I boost right at the handoff, and then I spin, because I know it's hard to boost like back-to-back times. So it's like you want to chain it up with kind of like a spin. You see I boost right there. I'm able to boost again right there. So you always want to make sure that you're trying to aim that left stick in the direction that you want to run. Now, beware that some boosts are going to be better than others, and you need a guy with 90 change of direction, acceleration, speed, agility, or as close to 90 as all those as possible to be able to do this move correctly and to be able to get the boost of speed. Right, so boom, boost, then we're going to speed boost right to that handoff, then we're going to spin back the other way, and then we're going to boost right out of it, and boom. So you're able to see how you're going to be able to chain a lot of these spins, boosts, all these bulkier moves together to really create some really dangerous runs. So I would just get an offense-only practice mode so that you can really work on the move, work on the timing of it, but then obviously you're going to get in a game, which I'm going to do, and then I'm going to show you exactly how I like to use it. But understand that some boosts are going to be better than others, right? That one's a really great boost. And then if you have like recuperation, or you have 360, whatever you have, it can make your boost, your speed boosting ability a whole lot better. All right, so we're gonna put them in random defense here. We're gonna come into gun bunch, a strong offset. We're gonna come into duo, all right? And so really now there's gonna be obviously a defense on the field. And when there's a defense on the field, obviously it changes how you have to play, simply because it's not just as easy as running wherever you want. You actually need to pick your gaps and follow them. You're able to see right there, I speed boost out of the handoff, and then I immediately spin. And when you have gold or platinum, or sometimes even silver 360, you should be spinning all the time, because you're just going to basically dumb out the pursuit angles of all of these guys. So right there, I'm able to spin, pick up, a couple extra yards here. So anytime I feel like I'm going to get tackled, I'm spinning. So I'm going to boost, and then I'm going to run right up to that guy and try to spin. That time, that's a great tackle by that outside corner. But the most important thing is left trigger, right trigger, left stick where you want to run as soon as you get the ball. As soon as you get the handoff to speed boost, right? Because you want to be able to get to your gap as soon as possible. And if you're not boosting to get there, you're really just, if you really think about it, slowing yourself down, right? So obviously if your offensive line doesn't block for you, it's going to be a little bit harder, but I'm getting to the gap, then I'm speed boosting to get to the gap, then I'm spinning because my guy can spin, and so, it just makes your run offense a whole lot better. That's a great example of it. I speed boost to get to the spot, then I spin to dumb out that guy's pursuit angle, and so then I'm able to turn into a big game. Now, honestly, sometimes you're going to be able to rip off even longer runs than I am right here. If they have their safety depth on close, a lot of the time it's going to be harder to run the ball, obviously, but that time right there, that's a great example of it. Speed boost to get to the hole. I probably could have spun the whole defense out if I pressed the spin button, but it's really that simple. You speed boost to get to the hole. You see I dumb out the pursuit angle of number 22 when I do the move, and it allows me to turn into a big gain. So one last time right here, speed boost, spin, and we're able to kind of turn that into some extra yards simply because, again, left trigger, right trigger, left stick to get to the spot, and then you're going to spin or, do whatever bulkier move you can to try to make some additional guys miss. But the speed boost, that's how you do it and why it's so overpowered here in CFB 26. All right, and so like I showed you earlier, pocket presence is important. Speed boosting is going to help you out a lot on offense. But if you're not playing great defense by utilizing the switch stick, none of it's really going to matter. Let me show you exactly what makes switch stick so good and how you can improve yours. All right, and so the great thing is you can switch stick out of any defense, any play, right? So we're just going to put them in a random pass play right here. And I don't even know what they're calling, but I'm just going to try to play good defense by switch sticking around. So normally I like to start the play on like a middle linebacker, or really here I would just start the play on this guy. And I'm just trying to switch stick around to take away their route concept, right? Some route concepts are better than others, so it's going to be harder for you to actually be able to switch stick. But essentially you're just flicking the right stick towards the player that you want to switch onto. So right here, I just feel like this is a pretty bad play from them, and so we're kind of going to be able to take away everything, and this is going to help you get way more coverage sacks. So like I said, you're just flicking the right stick in the direction of the guy that you want to switch onto, depending on the route concept they have called, and so you're able to see that's exactly what we're able to do. And like I said, this is going to get you way more coverage sacks, because the bottom line is a lot of people on offense, they get scared whenever someone's switch sticking around. So when someone switch sticks onto a certain route or a certain area, they immediately move on to something else. So by you getting good with the switch stick, by you working on your switch stick, you're going to just be able to take away all these different routes in all these different areas and play really great coverage defense, because they're going to have to hold on to the ball for a lot longer. All right. So again, the bottom line is you're just trying to read their route concept. You can guess the route concept before the snap, but really when they snap the ball, you just need to be ready to switch stick all the way around. You're able to see how I know what play that is before the snap, and so I'm able to switch stick all the way around and take away their routes. But you're going to ask me, BLT, how do I improve my switch stick? I know how good it is. I know I need to use it, but how do I get better with it? All you're going to do, get into practice mode, hook up a second controller so that you can control the offense, and you're going to spy off the pass rush just like this. Now the quarterback's going to have all day to throw, and so you can call any defense, and you're just, I mean, they're going to obviously call their play, and the play is going to function, but you're just basically going to be trying to defend a lot of these route bounces. Eventually these guys are going to start, running up the field to, try to find space for their quarterback, and you're just going to try to make sure that at no point can they throw one of these passes, right? At no point can they really, let go of this ball. Now, eventually the receivers are going to stop running, so that's when you throw the ball away. But really improving your switch stick is really just having more feel and a better control over where you're getting switched onto. So you see I'm spying off the pass rush right here. And so you're going to see, boom, they're just going to take this snap. And I don't really know what play this is. I'm going to try to defend their play. This is actually a pretty good route concept. But we're going to be able to defend all these route bounces when they actually start doing, start bouncing. So boom, right here, they're all kind of clustered up, unfortunately. But you see how I've switched multiple times to be able to defend these. And if you really want to make this, because this is a hard drill, but if you really want to make it even harder, you could hook up, or you could tell your buddy to pick up like the other controller and try to throw the ball at some point, so that you can really make sure that none of these passes are ever open, because I would say I'm doing a pretty good job of taking away all of these, right? And so like I said, when they start clustering up, that's when you throw the ball away. But really the bottom line here with the switch stick, you really need to just understand what route concept they're calling as they're kind of breaking, so that you can start switch sticking around depending on who you think they can throw to and who you think is open. And the best way to improve that is spying off the pass rush so that you can get a better feel, more control over where you're getting switched onto, and that's going to help your defense out tremendously. All right, before I jump in that final secret trick that you're absolutely not going to miss, again, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I break down secret tips and tricks just like this every single day on College Football 26, and you don't want to miss out on any of them. But let me show you that final secret, which is going to be the most important part of defense, because before the offense even snaps the ball, you need to make sure that you have good defense on the field, and being able to adjust your defense on the fly really makes that so much easier. Let me introduce you to quick adjustments. All right, and so quick adjustments are very, very important, because if they come out in like a spread formation like this, right, all they would really need to do is to put two shrieks on the field, a fade and a shriek, and this route concept is going to be wide open right here on the sideline. They're just going to have a whole shot right there on the sideline if they get enough time to throw. So if you come out in cover two, for example, against a spread formation, or even here specifically against a trips formation, that's going to be very, very dangerous for you. And so really, if you accidentally come out in a defense or they just audible, right, you have to change your defense on the fly. You don't want to have to click, 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 click to get on that's 6 clicks to get on the outside corner. You're just going to get quick snap that way. And not to mention, you're really only going to be able to make one adjustment. Like, there's no way you're actually going to be able to make another adjustment here. Boom. Oh, where's inside third? Oh, here we go. Like, you're just going to get quick snap way too fast. And that's probably what you're doing. So really the best way that you have to kind of practice that is, okay, if I need to adjust this coverage to a cover 3 from a cover 2 on that trip side, I need to make sure I understand how to make these adjustments fast with quick adjustments. So understanding that pressing Y twice or triangle twice on PlayStation is going to open your secondary. So your DBs, you have 4 to 6 DBs. This formation has 5 DBs. So now I can click onto my B corner and put him in an outside third, right? And then I can press Y twice again, because it's still from the same position group. I can press A and I can put my, top safety right here in a inside third. Then I can press Y twice, I can press LB, and then I can put my slot corner if I wanted to. I guess this defense, I just can't, but for most formations, you could put your slot corner in a curl flat to turn that into a cover 3 on that side. Versus, again, individually clicking onto the guys. But that's just the secondary. If I wanted to here, I could actually do this, where I could put my safety in a middle third, put my outside corner outside third, but then I could put my linebacker here in the curl flat, which is going to be pressing D-pad right twice. That's going to open your linebacker adjustment. So then I can put my linebacker in a curl flat, hard flat, and now I have that cover 3 defense out there on the right side. Also, the defensive line, if you wanted to put your defensive lineman in a vert hook, a curl flat, QB spy, you're going to press D-pad left twice. So D-pad right twice is going to open the linebackers, D-pad left twice is going to open the defensive line, and then Y or triangle twice is going to open that secondary. But that's really quick adjustments because it allows you to be able to start the play, boom, from this. I'm going to easily be able to make that adjustment to turn that into a cover 3 on that side very quickly instead of individually clicking on the guys. I would say this is the biggest skill gap on defense, being able to make adjustments really fast instead of doing what you're doing individually clicking on. So one last time, mastering these 3 commands: Y twice or triangle twice is the secondary, D-pad right twice is the linebackers, and D-pad left twice is going to be the defensive line. So those are the adjustments that you need to master because, again, they're going to allow you to make those adjustments on defense way faster, and it's going to make your defense a whole lot better. All right, so if you enjoyed those 5 secret tricks to get way better here in College Football 26, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I break down tips and tricks just like this every single day on CFB 26, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want all 5 of these tips to save on your phone during gameplay so that you never lose access to them, and you want access to me in Discord, go to the link down below in the pinned comment or comment the word VOLT to join CFB University. It's only $1 in your first month, and please don't let $1 be the reason you're still struggling to win games here in CFB 26. Join today. It's really a no-brainer, and you're going to be able to transform your game. But if you want 5 secret tricks to help your offense specifically here in CFB 26, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.